Why do I feel so unworthy? So many people say that now. They don't feel loved. They don't feel like they have the job that they like. They're lost. They don't know what to do with their lives. They feel put down. Because for many, many, many lifetimes, that's exactly what happened. We were told we weren't worthy. We were put down. Nobody listened to us. Whether you're a child now, teenager, a man or woman, many of us on this earth at this time are dealing with those unworthy feelings. But the world is different now. It's the time we can speak up. It's the time we can be valued. But it takes a lot of work to shed those old patterns that keep us down. See, we already come into this life worthy. We make that decision. We make a contract before we're born. And we say, yes, these are the patterns I want to work on. Okay? Because you look at your life, you look at your Akashic records where all your lives are stored. And you say, yes, this is the time to do that on planet Earth. I know it's difficult to say, I chose some of these lessons that I have to go through. Well, let's talk about unworthy. And I'm going to give you a story. It's my story. And then kind of sum it up. Unworthiness or lack of self-confidence gets attached to us and we lock it in and we believe it's true. And then we find situations in this life that prove it over and over again because it's our job to overcome that obstacle. So look at the stories in your life. Look at the negative patterns. Is it your health that keeps showing up? Is it people put you down? First it's your father, then it's your employer, then it's your boyfriend, then it's your husband. Those opportunities come again and again so you can deal with them and you can let the darkness and the negativity below and move above it with reasoning, understanding, unconditional love. Not so easy, but here it goes. Let me tell you my story. My last name is Hartley. Hartley. Okay. I should have figured this out a long time ago because I've had 3 heart surgeries in this life. Are you kidding me? I'm kind of a health nut, you know? And yet, I had to have 3 heart surgeries. Yes, my mother, my father, my grandmother, my grandfather, aunts, uncles, they all died of heart issues. I had the first surgery when I was 16. It's always been the valve, my aortic valve. Then in my 50s, I had open heart. Oh, that one hurt. It was painful. It took a long time to recover. Then I had one during the pandemic. Now, that was a new procedure. It's called a TAVR. They go in the groin, down the throat. They have one aortic valve already in there, and they put another one on top of it. I went, okay, I have to have surgery again. When that last time came up, I said, I am going to go, when I'm under the anesthesia, to my Akashic records. I am going to look down at my life that I lived before that caused this major problem. Okay, on the operating table, I left. And when I did, I saw these like doctors and angels. They were on the other dimension. They were looking down over my body, like healing it and taking care of it. So I kept going up. And then, all of a sudden, because I had asked to see the life that this pattern locked in, that I was not worthy, and I've had it for generations. And there it was. I was in the medieval time in Europe, and I was like an urchin. I was skinny. I was dirty. I was filthy. I was in rags. I didn't even have shoes on my feet, and I was stealing an apple. I didn't see any parents. I was alone. I was definitely an orphan. And then I saw the Lord of the Land on a horse with a procession of people behind him ride through the little village. And I just got small. I didn't want him to see me. But he did. And the next day, He sent 2 women. They washed me, they cleaned me, they did my hair. Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful and long and like an auburn color. And I had great new dress and this green cape, so soft, okay, with a hood. And then I was given a little room, had a fireplace, it had food on the table, lots of food, and a bed. Yes, I became the mistress for the Lord of the land. And those next years were fabulous. I had food. I had shelter. I felt I was loved. I was cared for. And then I got pregnant. So I told the Lord of the land, you have to leave your wife and marry me. He said nothing. I said, you have to leave your life. You have to leave that wife and marry me. I am pregnant. Again, I said it again. He said nothing. He said nothing. He said nothing every time I met with him. And then I had a miscarriage. I lost the child. But I didn't tell him. I just kept up. You have to marry me. Yes, you have to marry me. And then one night, at about sunset, I'm walking in the village with my green cape on. And I saw 2 riders. And then they got off their horse. And one took a dagger and he stabbed me right in the heart. And I went, ah! I was betrayed. I was used. I'm not lovable. And I died right there in the gutter. And the townspeople, they left me there for days. They walked past me. But that unworthiness, that I was never going to be worthy of love, that I was tricked, that I was betrayed, was so strong at that moment at my death. But I had also lied. That's right. I didn't tell him the truth. I used him, he used me. So at that moment, looking down at my body from the other side, because I had tapped into my Akashic records, I said, I've got to start the forgiveness process. So when I came back to Earth, I felt good. I felt like I'd left a lot of baggage, got rid of it. But I had to really forgive myself. That took a lot of crying. I have been carrying this unworthiness for a long time. I had to forgive the Lord of the land for betraying me. I had to forgive the men that stabbed me. I had to forgive the townspeople that took 3 days to throw me in an open grave. A lot of forgiving. I cried, I shouted, I ran, I exercised, I went to the top of the mountain, I screamed. I meditated and said, I am worthy. I am love. See, we know that on the other side, on the other dimension, we are pure love and light. But when we get down here, all that negativity sets in, all those fears lock in, all that shame locks in, and that's what we're overcoming with those patterns. That's why we come to Earth, to overcome those patterns that we hang on to. Oh. I was at my cardiologist not too long ago. I go in once a year. I have my heart checked. And he said, you're fabulous. I feel younger now than I did 10 years ago. Healing, forgiveness, that is the key to acknowledging that you are love. Remember, you came in as love, you came in as light. But we lose it. About age 6, the veil comes down and we forget. It's our time to bring that energy and that light back up. As a past life reader, I read for another lady, and she said, I had knee surgery, but it's not really recovering. And my doctor said it could be something in a past life. This must have been a very enlightened doctor. So she called me, and I discovered she was a Roman soldier at the time when Romans were ruling the world. That Roman Empire was just capturing people, bringing them back, and that's what this lady did. She was a man in that life. And when people would whine or they wouldn't walk and she's dragging them back to Rome, she would slice on the outside of their left knee. She said, that's where my injury is, on the outside of my left knee. I said, first of all, you have to forgive yourself. And second of all, This is the opportunity you have now to heal that pattern that existed years ago. Now you're not like that. You're kind, you're loving. But understand, you are feeling what many of the people felt way back then. Thank you. That's what you say for the opportunity to understand and to heal. It's a little hard sometimes, but that's exactly what you have to do. I read for another lady. She was in Machu Picchu. She loved her people. She loved her village. And then the Spaniards came. And she actually believed that they were there to help her people. But after a while, she figured it out. And she wanted to run back to her people. And they threw a spear and it got in the back of her leg. And to this day, in this life, she has a birthmark. That birthmark is the reminder of that life because she was sucked in by the glamour, by the outsiders. She believed them. She didn't listen to her inside gut. We are here to learn our lessons. They come in all kind of packages. So look at your life. Again, look at those health patterns. Look at those negative patterns that you attract and say, I don't have to keep doing this cycle over and over again, but I can choose to become aware of it and not get involved with people like that or situations like that or honor my health. Yes, you can start the healing process right now on earth. Forgiveness. Yep. Meditate. Okay. Go in. Start forgiving yourself. Forgive people in this life that have done you wrong. You don't have to like them. You don't have to spend time with them. But you want to clear all that negative karma. Because remember, all our lives are stored. And I call the Akashic records. That's what they're called. But I call it the big computer in the sky. Because you can tap into it and go, yes, I see that. That is my story in this life. Those are the patterns. I'm here. And I'm going to heal them because I want to bring in my gifts and I want to focus more on what I'm here to do, whether it's help people or volunteer or be an artist, whatever it is. Yes, it's amazing how this life works. And remember, every life you have is important, but the most important one is the present one you're living right now. I always end with a quote, so here we go. Change has to happen first on the inside. Then change can happen on the outside of your life.